the church I was attending, one Pentecostal church I was attending, I heard that the husband, no, no, the husband noticed that the wife cheated on him, and the husband unalived the wife.
Hmm.
The mental health includes something like emotion, psychology, social well-being. So, but for every mental health we have, there are some mental health that is as a result of precondition of a person. Then there's also some health hazard that is as a result of issue around the brain. Like for example, there's something called schizophrenia.
Eh. They have started,
Schizophrenia.
though. They
Now,
have started.
schizophrenia is what we know as madness. You understand? So that one is it's a mental health issue, that has to do with what's it called? It has to do with it has to do with it's a chronic disorder, that affects the way you think, the way you feel, and the way you heart. And that is why I see it's very important. You need to know the mental health of the person you are dating. No, there are many with the people in human body. Do you understand? And you need to looking at the aggression level of a person. See, I know that we can see, we are meant to vex, but when you see some vexing or aggression that is beyond, normal, you need to check the mental capacity or the mental health of that person. You understand? Every human being can express dissatisfaction, but not in a destructive way that can be destructive. You understand? And some people again, the way they were trained up, you know, has has a K-leg. Now, when a child grows up in an abusive relationship, that child is already mentally challenged because you see that abuse can make that child enter what do we call it, defensive mode.
Hmm.
Everybody want to attack him. He does not have patience because he has learned through his life fighting. You are getting it. So, those aspects one has to look at it. You understand? You see, there's also there. You see, let's say for example, let's say you are being kidnapped. Somebody is kidnapped. There's something called PTSD. That is the post-traumatic disorder. That one is caused as a result of unpleasant event that happened to somebody. And there's also another mental disorder that we have, bulimia and anorexia. Bulimia is you eating uncontrollably. You just want to eat. You just want to eat, and that is why you see these people. We have many of them in the what's it called in the US, in Nigeria, which share food day where you go say you want to have everything at one time. You understand? So then we have anorexia. Well, eh?
Gluttony.
What do they call gluttony? Then we have another one that they don't want to even eat at all. Anorexia. It's also a mental disorder. Because everything happens in the brain. You see, oh, I don't want to be fat. I don't want to be fat until it becomes obsession. So when it now becomes obsession, it don't enter mental health too. You understand? So eating disorder can be mental health.
But what
Post-traumatic stress
about
can be.
rejection? What about rejection? Someone that's,
The rejection can lead to depression.
you
You
know,
understand?
I've seen someone that was that was I would not that did not get
I can't hear you, sir.
okay. Let me put my phone on my mouth. I
Put my
say
phone on the
I've seen a woman that did not get love, someone to love, yeah, to marry. She earned her life herself in Nigeria, 40 something
That is
years,
depression. That's
and she
depression. That one
she's
is
doing well
depression.
for herself. Oh. She's an independent
You,
woman.
bro,
She's doing well for herself. But I don't
bro,
know why
bro, you don't understand. You don't understand. Let me tell you something.
you
See,
unlike yourself.
there is a say there is it is the see that's why you see the easiest way to live life is not to put anything in your mind. See, have you not noticed that it is the unserious people in this life that are the one that enjoy life? The unserious people that they are just carefree. They don't put anything for mind. They just take life the way it comes. You see that they are better, happier than people that consider Omo, how I want to make them tomorrow, how I want to do this one, how I want to do this one, because that is also part of anxiety. And you see, when you are anxious, there are some, you see, for every mental health has an effect, has a chemical effect it does in the brain. There are some chemical transconductor chemical messengers that is needed in the brain. So overstimulation of it can cause other things. Understimulation can cause another thing. You understand? So one thing me I advise in life, mentally, please don't be too tied to. No, don't take things too serious in this life. That is a better way for you not to be disappointed about anything that comes to you. If you check people who are addicted to pornography. Check them. They don't have an healthy relationship with people. And you know why? You see, most of the time, they are they are reserved to themselves, and that is why you see they will not. You cannot have you will be hard for you to have an all-inclusive relationship with them because they have themselves they like themselves the way they are. So it takes another people I know, like people will say prayer and this, but I've come to realize that if you want to break an addiction, you need to replace it with
Yeah.
another thing.
Yes.
Do you understand?
Yes.
You need to replace it with another thing to preoccupy yourself for not doing that. You understand? So that reward center, something it could be. That's why, for example, let's say, for example, a person who is normal, you think normal, but he now had an accident and he hits his head. Now that head could, what's she saying? Okay, that head, it could affect somewhere in the brain, and before you know it, he cannot speak again, or he cannot rationalize again, or he cannot walk normal again and stuff like that. So you see, mental health is very broad. However, it is important that you need to guard your mind, because I was on a panel, and a woman, a feminist, was telling us about mood swing, and I asked her, I said, is mood swing, is it the mood swing that controls a woman, or the woman controls the mood?
Mm.
So she said, no, the mood controls the woman. So if the mood controls the woman and swing the woman, that means the mood is the one who takes hold of the woman. She said, no, but mood swing. I said, there is difference between irritability and mood swing.
Mm.
And that's why, see, let me tell you something again, that you must know that you are an active participant in your mental health.
Mm.
I think that is an aspect that they don't tell people, that you are an active participant in your mental health. Now, it has been okay. For example, we have some some mental health that is, like hereditary. One of it is schizophrenia. You can see schizophrenia move from one failure generation to another.